G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for being here and watching my content. I really do appreciate it, as you have given me the pleasure and the privilege to talk about the greatest sport in the world. Soccer? Wait, no, it's, I think they call it football. Yeah, football. Football. So once every 4 years, the FIFA World Cup comes around, and it's cure for my insomnia. I put it on before I go to sleep, and yeah, I take a nap, I wake up, and the score is still 0-0, okay? It's, yeah, perfect every 4 years, helps me sleep, and this game, the final, was anything but cure for my insomnia. This was absolutely the most ridiculous, most incredible, the most, what do they call it? The coronation to the football god, Lionel Messi. This was absolutely insane game. This is probably the best soccer game I've ever seen in my whole life. And yeah, let's have a talk about it. Okay, I normally review rugby, so let's see if I get some of these things wrong. Whatever, okay? Whatever. It's soccer, okay? So, obviously, I only watch soccer for the drama, and the game itself, most of the times, is pretty boring. I find pretty boring. But this game, the drama in this game can rival that of Shakespeare, can rival that of the Twilight Saga. This was Hollywood in the making. This was just unbelievable. We saw some literal Oscar-winning performance acting on the field. This was absolutely amazing game to watch. So going into this game, I watch, like I said, watch the World Cup every 4 years, and every 4 years it's all about Messi, the god of football. When he's gonna get his World Cup? Is it gonna happen this year? So in 2014, I still remember today. Let's think about it. That's like 8 years ago. Messi lost to Germany. I thought that was it. He was in his prime, late 20s, and yeah, he looked really unsatisfying, and he had such a good performance through in that tournament. I thought nobody was able to, like, he was single-handedly in that tournament, putting Argentina into the final against Germany, and he just couldn't do it. He couldn't pull it through to win the game. I thought there's no way he was going to be able to put up a better performance than that. And then obviously 2018, we all knew what happened. Argentina had an absolute train wreck. And yeah, I thought that was it. The football god was never going to win a World Cup. And here he is again. 2022, 4 years later, look better than ever, to be honest. In fact, I've noticed that his performance has better. His work rate has improved through the tournament. Yes, he looked like he got fitter throughout the tournament. I just looked so much better this game than Argentina did in the previous games. In fact, this is the best game both teams has played in the tournament, which says a lot, because going into this game, I thought the quarterfinals were the best games that both teams played, because they absolutely blew out the opposition. Not quarterfinal, semi-final, because they absolutely blew out the opposition in the semi-finals, like huge scoreline. And I thought neither teams was going to beat that performance, kind of like England in the Rugby World Cup, where they beat the All Blacks. They weren't able to perform that again in the finals, but both teams went into this game actually went into another level. I was absolutely mind blown how these two teams could even got better than they did from the week from not like a few days before in the semi-finals. Like literally, the two teams went to hell, right? Imagine going to hell and then you decide to dig a hole that's like another 100 meters deeper. That's what these two teams did. Okay, it was unbelievable match. So yeah, with that being said, I actually thought this game was just going to be one of those games where whoever scores first will just win the game, because, you know, everybody's tired. Like I said, the really good performance a few days ago. No one's probably going to be able to follow that up. But yeah, immediately as the game started, I was just like mind blown by the pace of this game. Like the two teams were just hammering each other, absolutely hammering each other, like 100 miles an hour, and they just keep turning up the speed. And eventually the Argentinians clearly had a more of an advantage over the French side. Mbappe was getting shut out. He wasn't able to get the ball. We'll say Olivier Giroud wasn't able to he almost had one header. That's about it. And then, like, yeah, the Argentina had the momentum, had the determination and desire to win that World Cup for Messi. And yeah, it took 23 minutes for, what's his name? Di Maria to win the Oscar for 2023, to steal that from Nick White of the Wallabies. Yeah, he was in the box. Maria, one of the French players, slaps in on the hand, literally slapped in on the hand, and he fell over. Like an explosion has gone off behind him, just completely get blown over. And yeah, penalty kick for Argentina. I was just screaming Oscar. It was the biggest dive. It was very, very good, very good, very good. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. It was like, yeah, unbelievably good. It was beautiful dive, beautiful. So Messi gets in the box. He kicks all these penalties for Argentina, and man, it was just brilliant. He's absolutely so good. Like, he actually missed a few penalties earlier in the tournament, but he's just getting better and better at taking penalties. Believe it or not, he goes in. He did this thing where he like shimmied his legs a little bit, like shimmied his hips a little bit, just before he kicks the ball to get the goalkeeper to react. And then he just like pops the ball straight through. Like, it was just unbelievably good. Like, it was so perfectly like timed, so perfectly executed. He didn't hit it like hard or anything. Just like little juke, bang, goal. So yeah, Argentina gets the ball 1-0, and I was like, there's no way this game was gonna end with one goal just by the pace and the ferocity that the two teams are playing at. Sure enough, 10 minutes later, 36 minutes before halftime, Argentina scores again. This time was just absolute brilliance. Bit of a, nice little into passes between the players. I think it was Messi eventually sends the ball through to the Oscar winner, Di Maria, in the box, pops it through 2-0 Argentina before halftime. I was like, man, this is like, I don't know what was gonna happen. And then like, surely after this goal was scored, like, the French looked so down and out. They took off Olivier Giroud, and it was starting to look like this was going to be like one of those, the French was giving up, right? It was starting to look like a repeat of 1937, right? And I was like, this is over, this is done. I was starting to fall asleep. I'm like, I'm just going to wake up, next day and watch the Messi lift the trophy with the photos, right? So anyway, second half stuff, it goes off, and sure enough, France started putting on all these players that has like 3 caps and stuff. They're taking off Guzman, who was a really good midfielder. So I was like, yeah, looks like this is going to be a 1937 repeat that's being unfolded in front of me. But on the 80th minute, just before I'm about to fall asleep, I think this guy's name is Utamendi, fouls Muani in the box. So Muani had the ball in the box, and he gets basically stepped on. Luckily, like, kind of clipped in the heel, gets over, trips over, penalty. So France has a chance to get back one goal, right? With about 10 minutes left on the clock. Still, even with the one goal back, it's like still a pretty big task to win the game. With 10 minutes left, with extra time, a bit of extra like injury time, that's not really enough to score another goal. Especially considering how like France hasn't done anything for 80 minutes. But anyway, they get a penalty. Kylian Mbappe, by the way, Kylian is such a bad name for him. They should call him like Makazolo Mbappe or something, okay? Anyway, Kylian Mbappe steps up. And again, this guy also has like the perfect penalty goal technique as well. He kicks the ball to the same corner every time, but he kicks it exactly like that awkward high for the goalkeeper, where it's just a bit too high, you have to reach for it, and it's just a bit too much of an angle where even if you hit the ball, it's still what's going to go in, like just hard enough, so even if you hit the ball, it's still going to go in. Just like awkward positioning of the ball, where it's, like just the perfect, like awkward high for the goalkeeper. So even if he touches it, he's still going to go in. The amount of power he puts behind the ball, it was just perfect. Like exactly what happened. He pops the ball to the right-hand side, goalkeeper gets his hand to it, still goes in. He did this with all of his penalty kicks. Same corner every time, and the goalkeepers can't stop it, even though they knew this was what's going to happen. So yeah, just again, perfect technique from this guy. Pops it straight in, and he scores, right? Everybody's, he kind of like, he didn't really celebrate. He kind of just like, yeah. And you can see it on his face. It's almost like he can sense, okay? He had like the sixth sense something was going to happen. He just runs in. He didn't celebrate. Not really. He runs in, picks up the ball, and just went back for just immediately went back for the reset. Like, it's almost like he knew something was going to happen, okay? And sure enough, a minute later, Messi was like midfield with the ball. He gets the ball stolen off him. France counterattack. He gets the ball center field. He passes the ball to his right winger. Left forward or left winger forward, whatever. And then the left winger. He was on the left wing. He pops the ball to his center field. And then the center field guy pops it back to him in a little bit of like triangle little play. Back to him into the box. And he just like looked like a fly kick from a Kung Fu movie. It's just absolutely like sly kicks this ball into the corner. 1 minute, France levels the game. 2-2. And it was insane. Like, I could not believe it. I was like, it's like he knew this was gonna happen when he scored that penalty goal. And like, this was like nightmare for the Argentinians, right? Like, this happened against, I think, Argentina against the Dutch, where they were 2-0 up, and then they went back to a draw, 2-2 draw, and went to penalty, and they won on the penalties. So it was looking like the nightmare's repeating itself. Oh man, for the last 10 minutes plus injury time, both teams were just absolutely throwing the kitchen sinks at each other. It was so close. The France had a more momentum. There was one point, one of the French players almost hit a header, and he was literally like 1 centimeter short from hitting that ball clinging towards the goal. He like literally, if his shoes were like a millimeter taller, or if the grass were like a millimeter like thicker, he would have just gone, like, that would have been a goal. Like, he was so close. It was again, Mbappe's crossfield kick to him. It was so close. Absolute game of just inches. There was one point as well. Acuna from Argentina had to like blatantly basically slide in front of the guy. He didn't even go for the ball. Just after the ball was stolen from Argentina, France had an opportunity for a huge counter-attack. He literally jumped in front of the ball carrier to knock him over so he couldn't counter-attack. Gets himself a yellow card. Probably should have been a red card considering what he tried to do. To give his teammates time to run back to defend. Oh man, it was just absolutely brutal. But so anyway, the game goes to the extra time. The nightmare of nightmares is coming true. Messi, the guy that loses the ball and costs the draw. So yeah, it was just absolutely the worst way to go out in the World Cup for the football god, right? So the game kind of calmed down in the first half of the extra time. Second half starts. It took about 3 minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes into the second half. The football god redeems himself with a goal. So again, the Argentinians, Messi is so good. He had the ball just outside the box, pops it through to Martinez in the box. Martinez had a clear shot of the goal, hits the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper knocks the ball back, and Messi was just right there. He just basically bumps the ball through, and the ball, right? And here's the thing. This is so crazy. If this was a movie, you would say that the movie has jumped the shark, okay? The ball went towards the goal. There was a French player standing right in the middle of the goal, ready to block the ball. But for some reason, he misjudged his position or something. So he was actually behind the goal line. So when the ball hit the French defender, and then he kicked the ball out, the ball has already passed behind the goal line. So it was already a goal before he blocked the ball. So it was really bizarre because why would you stand in the goal, right? If you just stood on the line, he would have stopped this, which he could completely do so. He would have just blocked the ball, and then that would not have been a goal. But he somehow must have lost track of his positioning. He drifted into the goal, and the ball just went in before he kicked it out. Yeah, if you talk, seriously, if this was in the movie, I would say that's too ridiculous of writing, right? Messi, the guy, he's going to be coronated to be the greatest player in the world, scores the goal where the ball got kicked out, inches after it just went in. It's just, you cannot get any closer than that, right? And it's so ridiculous. This will be too ridiculous for a movie script, but this actually happened, okay? He kicks the ball out, and they're celebrating, so Tiemo checks, Sure enough, it was a goal. It went through, and it was just unbelievable. There. And at that point, I was like, that's it. This is the perfect finish to the story. You know, Messi scores the winning goal for Argentina in extra time, second half, and you know, to win the title from the champions for last World Cup. Perfect finish to the story. But Kylian Mbappe, he's like, no, Messi, you are not the GOAT. I will be the GOAT. Okay, you are not gonna win this without me having anything to do about it. So just before full time, 2 minutes left of time plus injury, Kylian Mbappe just outside the box, he takes a huge kick straight out the goal, and you can see the Argentinian defenders were nervous, like really nervous. And one of the defenders stuck his elbow out like this, blocks the ball in the box, penalty. And Kylian Mbappe gets in, exactly what he did with the first penalty, left hand side, you know, chest high, I don't know, like, you know, maybe shoulder high, pops it straight through with power. Just unbelievable. Bang! 3-3. We're going to penalties. I genuinely thought this was too crazy. Okay? I thought this was too crazy to be real. Something has to be wrong here. I thought something has to be wrong here. Like, is this actually scripted? Like, this is so insane. I was speechless at this point. I couldn't believe it. 3-3 going to penalties, and and just before penalties, both teams were just like back and forth trying to score a goal before penalties, but neither came to fruition. Really close to both teams, but yeah, penalty goes in, and unfortunately for Mbappe, he can only take one penalty, and he hit it exactly the same way on the left hand side. You know, shoulder high with power, bam, straight in, and his teammates was not able to do so. Two of them, one of them got saved, the other one completely missed the goal, and the god of football, Lionel Messi, gets his first World Cup win. Argentina wins 4-2 on penalty shootout, and this was insane. And thank God I don't have to watch this again for 4 more years. So thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. If you want to like and comment, subscribe. Especially going into the rugby season with the Six Nations coming up in February, there's gonna be a bit of a gap. So if you would subscribe, you would really help like stay connected with my channel. I would really be appreciated. Otherwise, you do you. I do appreciate you watching, regardless. And for all the people who are watching this, if you're a soccer fan or football fans, I'll see you guys in 4 years. Okay? Thanks.